This chick got in a bit of hot water this week after a racially insensitive tirade on the valet at a Beverly Hills hotel was recorded and subsequently went viral. She then did what any entitled LA thought mom would do and had an epic crash out on Instagram stories while the internet digitally eviscerated her before then folding like a lawn chair and deleting a bunch of stuff and privating her account. Truly a modern day Disney story, honestly. But this one with an interesting twist that's not directly related to this incident, but it's kind of a fun Easter egg, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a moment. But first, let's see what got her into this mess. What are you taking in Beverly Hills?
You're a
Oh.
What else?
Got it?
What else?
Trump is doing good things. You guys rape people.
Yeah.
You guys and kill people.
Right?
So I'm going to have to censor that because YouTube is gay. But she's using a slur towards typically Mexican people, referring to their backs being of a higher moisture. It's just said differently, and it's obviously racially insensitive and offensive, and then goes on to call them R words. I think we're going to have to censor that one too, for the reason I just spoke of. Calls them arpists, therapists. I can't wait till YouTube doesn't suck. It probably never won't, but you know how it is.
Take your $50 and suck dick. Give me my change. I'm rich, you're poor.
Oh!
Difference.
You're poor of soul.
Yep, poor.
You're poor.
He is a poor soul. Weaponizing your alleged wealth on someone as a status insult has always been the lowest IQ form of conversational insult. Granted, one peek at this broad, and it's pretty obvious her IQ isn't what afforded her that wealth. In fact, alimony and child support become much more likely when we find out who her baby daddy is, which is the Easter egg we're getting to in just a moment.
Poor soul.
Deixa a chave dela.
Deixa a chave dela. Não, joga o carro dela lá na casa do cara.
Wanna record me, bitch? Wanna fucking record me? Shut the fuck up. I didn't touch you. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Give me my keys.
Just give her.
Get the fuck out my fucking...
Okay, so that was the clip that went viral, and as the internet loves to do, when a rich suburban LA mom starts hurling some racially insensitive slurs on the internet, it's like a drop of blood in the water of already circling sharks. Oh, they went to town on her. And, with good reason. So that is Florence Mirsky. One article called her an influencer. I don't know if I would go that far. But she would later claim the reason for her outburst was because one of the valets grabbed her ass and it stirred up previous trauma that flipped an emotional switch. That was vehemently denied by the valets. However, in the other side of the story, claims she freaked out over a $50 valet charge after not being able to have her parking validated. Who do we trust here? Certainly Florence wouldn't lie about something that serious. Now the crash out that comes after goes pretty hard, but the Easter egg I promised you comes first. After today's video sponsor. Because listen, I want to be able to leverage the "I'm rich, you're poor" line in my next public altercation where I'm slinging slurs around. So I got to get paid. And Raycon is my longest running partner, and I love them. So let's hear it. It's love season, baby, which means it's time to acknowledge those things that matter most, like my wife, a good glass of wine, and of course my Raycon everyday headphones. I love sound, and I love how these deliver it. It's the perfect pair. Their latest model is better than ever. 40 hours of battery life in a comfortable, ergonomic design that is luxurious on your head for extended listening sessions. The everyday headphones also come with active noise cancellation, which is clutch and normally hard to find at an accessible price point. Not anymore, with these babies coming in at just half the price of other premium audio brands. What's that, a crying baby on your plane? No problem. Fire up your everyday headphones and watch your movies with ease. I work out with them on, I lounge with them on, and I travel with them on family vacations so I can comfortably watch YouTube in bed after my wife is passed out, which is always before me. They sound incredible, they feel amazing. You're gonna love them. Listen, to get yourself a pair and help support this channel, you can go to buyraycon.com/LeonLush20 to get 20% off. That's right, 20% off all headphones when you go to buyraycon.com/LeonLush20. Link is in the description for you. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Now her Instagram, which was like partially privated, but then when I just hit record 3 seconds ago, went fully private, so I can't now scroll it. Maybe my editor, Christian, can include some clips for you. Basically, it's exactly like you'd think it would be. It's like a vapid public ledger of thirst traps and look at how much work I've got done and I don't really look my age, do I? Type of posts. Also quite a bit of content with her kid who I won't include for obvious reasons, but a kid she co-parents with, drumroll please, Scott Storch. Now, if you're a boomer like me, you know that name, but if you're young or an uncultured swine, or both, let me educate you.
Down for him.
Yes, that Scott Storch that produced Still Dre, probably the most recognizable piano lick in the last 3 decades. Lean Back by Fat Dro, Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake, also on his resume. Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, Beyonce, Lil Wayne, Lil Kim, 50 Cent. If it was a rap song with a bitchin' beat in the 90s, Scott Storch was probably in charge of tickling the ivories and pumping the 808s behind the scenes. Iconic for the times. Makes that I'm rich, you're poor insult from Florence hit a little bit different. Who's rich exactly? Nah, don't answer. I already know. Now, there's a lot of content that came from her crash out after this happened and she realized just how bad it was. She posts this to her story. It says, I know right now you guys may not understand, and I understand how bad it looks. The man that was walking behind me in the video groped me, then tried to flip it on me when I went crazy on him. Unfortunately, I have past trauma and manic episodes that I suffer with every day. Classic. That's why I called them R-words and murderers. I felt violated. Everyone that knows me knows I have a big heart and love for everyone. I come from immigrant parents as well. Mental health issues are real and I didn't mean to hurt anyone. So just for a second, think of what it takes to actually write out that whole thing and then post it, claiming that it was because of trauma that was brought back up for her because he groped her. In other words, he grabbed her at, right? That's the claim. She then goes on to say,
I'm really tired of the DMs and the comments. I left my house yesterday in PJs, as you can tell, looking crazy. And when I was walking out of a scrub, the valet guy grabbed my ass and I should have just punched him. I was thinking about my child and not wanting to go to jail. So I lashed out and I called him a wetback. And I'm so wrong for that, but I felt so violated. I should have just shut my mouth, called the police, and that's it. So basically, I'm explaining to everybody, I am sorry for what I said. I've been around Mexicans, dated Mexicans my whole life. My parents are immigrants. I am the farthest thing from racist possible.
Farthest thing. I'm sorry. I couldn't be, like, if I'm in Greenland, racism lives in Australia. I'm talking, you could not physically be farther away than racism than I am. It's impossible. Like, think about the Milky Way in the galaxies, whatever the farthest galaxy is. If that's racism, I'm in the other one over there because there's just no way. And by the way, he definitely grabbed my ass. That's what she said, right? And I personally don't want to leave you guys hanging to really have to understand if like who's in the right, who's in the wrong here. Let's just cut to the clip.
The guy touch you or did he not touch you?
The guy did not touch me.
So why did you say that?
Because I was frantic and I didn't know what to do because of the fact that I did something so stupid. It wasn't
That's not okay.
It was all a principle. Do you understand?
Okay.
Just a little bit of a manifestation as a self-defense mechanism to try. I'm struggling to justify that. But now you get an idea for how much of a piece of shit she is. The classic whoops-a-daisy, I just went on a publicly recorded racial tirade, so I'll just scream SA to take the heat off me for a little while until eventually people realize I'm a liar. And I have to also take the L on that.
It's so crazy how
she continues.
It is. I've explained so many times, I'm the farthest thing from racist possible. I've had nothing but Mexican, Spanish boyfriends. Majority of my friends are Black and Hispanic.
Guys, I can't tell you how many Black and Mexican people I've slept with. It's like almost all of my partners. So how could I be racist? It's impossible. In fact, if I was, just picture this. This cowboy hat is racism, okay? Right here. And that's one side of the universe. And then this is me over here, which is the farthest other end of the universe. This is how racist I am. Farthest, that's as far as you can get. There's no way to physically be farther apart from two entities than that right there.
Why would I ever lie about what somebody did? Why would I freak out on a valet like that if nothing occurred?
Oh, this is her still sticking with the story that he groped her before she broke.
I should have called the cops, like I said. You guys,
Insane.
like, honestly, like, have a little bit of, like,
insane,
you know, brain power to understand the internet is a very vicious place. And
it sure is, guys. And could you do me a favor and have a little bit of brain power and just trust her, please? Just, guys, stop being so stupid. Turn your brains on and see the truth for what it is. She's the farthest thing from racism that exists. And not only that, why would she do that if she wasn't physically, sexually assaulted? Of course she wouldn't just do that over a $50 valet charge. No way.
All people are doing is sitting here and, oh, she's racist. I'm the farthest thing from racist possible. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense. I was upset and I lost my shit. It happens to the best of us.
I do want to say this, okay, as a caveat, and this is not in defense of her, but just as a general rule of thumb, and this is me, and this people might not like hearing this, but racism is a very big spectrum, okay? Maybe even bigger than autism. I don't know. But all I'm trying to say is there are situations where you can yell things that are insensitive, racial slurs and things like that, as a means to hurt and harm, while genuinely not being racist in the sense of like disliking a whole group of people based on their race. And I know, like, I'm not saying it's not a little bit racist to say those things. I'm just saying it doesn't mean she's like going out of her way to avoid interacting with other races just because she said a couple of hurtful things. Words are words. True racism typically manifests in other ways more than just like saying the meanest thing possible at the time.
Why don't you guys call people like my housekeepers who I got their papers for them?
I would love to.
And how many people I've helped from different races and so on and so forth. It's just the internet feeds you guys and it sucks you guys and it's so sad. It literally, it's such a disgusting place. Like, I don't know how you guys have the time or the patience. If I'm going on here explaining myself, at least be like, you know what? This girl is really explaining herself. Like, I love Mexicans. I love Asian people. I love Russians. I love Jews. I love Muslims.
Me too. Yeah,
I've never in my life, why would someone like me ever be?
Notice she didn't say black people, okay? That's definitely not the farthest thing from racist to not include every race when you're talking about how many races you love. Bit of a faux pas there, sweetheart.
Racist. What I said about Trump, my parents are Ukrainian immigrants. I was angry. I felt like I just was violated. Like, I felt violated. So my mouth opens. When I get mad, I say crazy shit. That's the honest to God truth. How much more real can I be?
Well, you can start by not
there's
lying.
Nothing more I can do. I can't just keep making videos and having 100 people call me. I am deeply sorry. Like, I have learned my lesson to shut my mouth when I'm angry. When I'm angry, the craziest shit comes out of my mouth. And I've had this since I was a kid. I've learned my lesson. You hear my father who speaks Russian, who's an immigrant, my whole life, I'm talking and apologizing on Instagram. I have always, I don't know how to control my anger when something that dramatic happens. And now I've learned, and I'm sorry to everybody. And I'm literally going to do certain things to make this up to people. Everyone in life makes mistakes.
I mean, yeah, everyone gets angry, right? And oftentimes the way you're able to navigate that anger is typically a pathway to expose some of the true colors in your life. As I've said a million times in all the body cams we've watched, the ability to be self-aware of your emotions and be able to harness them and not let them take over so you do some dumb shit like this is truly a superpower. And some people just have it, some people don't.
The mistake I made. So if I'm going on the internet,
it's definitely not an excuse.
I'm not famous. I don't do any of this weird stuff. If I'm sitting here and giving the real and really apologizing for what I said out of complete stupidity and anger, I don't even know what I said. That's the truth. So I was so lashed out and so angry.
Yeah, you do.
So my sincere apologies. You guys can sit here and be like, you this, you that, you white bitch, you this, you that, like, whatever it is. Like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm really saying that I really made a huge mistake and I'm taking responsibility. That's the most important part.
All right. Fair play. Now, she continues. I'm talking like there was like hours of crash out. This was like the beginning of it. Like, it's just like the early stages of the crash out, and there's no way we can get through all of it, but we'll watch a couple more clips as things progress. She actually went back to the valet and like started crying and crashing out even harder. It was a little bit insane.
I just came to apologize to the two men that were here when all this occurred. I'm done entertaining this. I'm the farthest thing from racist. I'm not entertaining. You guys can DM me another 100,000 DMs. I'm done. This is crazy. I take full accountability for my mouth. I learned my lesson for life. I'm just done.
I don't want to have to tell you again. Hold on. If this is Florence outside the camera view, this is racism all the way over here. It's the farthest thing. Florence racism. She's that far. Do you know how many Mexicans she slept with? Jesus, you guys don't know shit because you're just on the internet talking shit about people you don't know. Poor old Florence. Get a clue, guys. Why don't you educate yourself about racism for once? Jesus.
We make mistakes in life, and I'm human. But obviously the other guy wasn't.
Oh yeah, that whiskey's hitting now, boys. Feeling good over here.
In here, but they'll pull up their cameras and do what they need to do. But you guys have a blessed day.
I will.
And
You saw what the guy did to me. At least let's be honest. I'm apologizing to you. Please. So you accept my apology and then what? But you know what the guy did. He's not even here today. But why? I know, but you know what the guy did to me.
So this is crazy to watch. Like, now that we've seen the podcast clip of her genuinely being like, no, he didn't do anything. I just made that up. And she went back, and the guy, one of the two guys was not there. The guy that she accused of grabbing her ass wasn't there. This guy's dealing with a customer. She goes back, is crying to him and trying to force him to admit that he's aware of what he did to her, in her head knowing that he didn't do anything, which is crazy because she's so emotionally damaged and has such a lack of ability to take accountability for her actions. She's trying to force him to just say something that will mitigate some of her guilt, that will take away some of the responsibility from her, even though the whole thing she knows is fabricated. It's truly a masterclass in kind of like traumatic sociopathy or something. I'm just spitballing here. I don't really know, but really wild to watch.
So please, at least be real. I'm the farthest thing from racist possible. I told you you're a good-looking guy with green eyes. Do you think I have any race?
I don't want to fuck. No, hey. I don't want to have to tell you again. Racism! Florence! They're not even fucking close! They're so far! Stop getting it twisted!
Can you at least admit what the guy did to me, please? Can you admit what the guy did?
The license plate 255.
Now, I'll admit, when we do videos like this, it's easy for me and anyone on the internet to lose sight of even a shred of humanity when people do offensive, terrible things on camera. And for people on the other side of a phone or monitor, it's become a national pastime to just dogpile anyone and everyone that slips up even a little bit. And an entitled, unhinged, snobby LA mom dropping a slur on IG, woo-wee, baby. That's like blood in the water where the sharks are circling, like I said already. But when you look beyond that, this is also a person with a family and her own struggles that's probably trying their best. But unfortunately, sometimes people's best absolutely sucks. And as they say, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. And when you don't have the emotional control or the brain cells to avoid crashing out on people regularly in public like this, you're gonna find out the hard way. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being the farthest thing from racist. And thank you for hip thrusting that motherfucking like button before you leave. Cheers.